Long ago, in a land far away called Babylon, there lived a man named Ezekiel. He wasn't just any man. He was a priest who loved God very much. But when his people, the Israelites, were taken away from their home in Jerusalem and made to live in Babylon, Ezekiel's heart grew heavy with sadness. He missed his home, the temple, and the joyful songs people used to sing to God. Everything felt broken. But that's when something amazing happened, something that would change Ezekiel's life forever. One day, while Ezekiel was sitting by a river called the Chebar, the sky suddenly lit up. He saw bright flashes of lightning and heard the sound of rushing wind, like a mighty storm rolling in. Ezekiel's eyes widened. He had never seen anything like it. Out of the light came 4 amazing creatures. They had wings that sparkled like fire, faces that shone like lightning, and wheels beside them that could move in any direction without turning. Above them was a shining throne made of sapphire, and sitting on that throne was someone who looked like the glory of God himself. Ezekiel fell face down. He couldn't speak. His heart was pounding so hard it felt like a drum. Then he heard a voice, powerful but gentle. "Ezekiel, stand up. I am sending you to speak to my people. Tell them what I say. Whether they listen or not, they will know that a prophet has been among them." Ezekiel's hands trembled. "Me? Talk to everyone? But I'm not sure I can do that," he whispered. Then something wonderful happened. The Spirit of God lifted him to his feet. Ezekiel could feel courage filling his heart, like light pouring into darkness. God showed Ezekiel a scroll covered in writing, front and back. "Eat this scroll," God said. "Eat it?" Ezekiel asked, eyes wide. "You mean, actually eat it?" "Yes," God said, smiling. "Take my words into your heart." So Ezekiel ate the scroll, and to his surprise it tasted as sweet as honey. It was God's way of showing him that his words might sound hard to hear, but they were good and full of truth. God gave Ezekiel many strange and powerful missions. Sometimes they seemed almost like plays or lessons acted out before the people. For example, God told Ezekiel to build a tiny model of Jerusalem and show how it would be surrounded by enemies. He had to lie on his side for many days to show how long the people would suffer, 390 days on one side and 40 days on the other. People walked by and stared. "What is Ezekiel doing now?" they whispered. "Has he gone mad?" But Ezekiel wasn't crazy. He was obeying God, showing the people that their choices had led to trouble. Still, many didn't listen. For a time, God even made Ezekiel silent. He couldn't speak unless God told him to. Imagine that, a prophet who couldn't talk. But when God's messages came, Ezekiel's voice returned, loud and clear like thunder across the sky. Then came very sad news. Jerusalem, their beloved city, would be destroyed. The people's hearts were stubborn, and they had turned away from God for too long. Ezekiel wept when he heard it. But even in the middle of sadness, God gave him a message of hope. He said, "One day I will bring my people back home. I will give them new hearts, hearts of flesh, not stone. I will put my spirit inside them so they can live again." It was a promise. A new beginning was coming. One day, God's Spirit took Ezekiel to a strange, quiet valley. The ground was covered with dry bones, thousands of them, scattered everywhere. Ezekiel looked around and whispered, "Oh Lord, what is this place?" God said, "Ezekiel, can these bones live again?" Ezekiel thought for a moment. "Only you know, Lord." Then God said, "Speak to the bones. Tell them to live." Ezekiel blinked. "Talk to the bones? But they can't hear me." Still, he obeyed. "Dry bones," he said loudly, "hear the word of the Lord. God will make you live again." Suddenly the ground began to rumble. The bones started rattling and moving. Rattle, clatter, click, clack. Bones found their matches. Arms, legs, ribs, skulls, all coming together like a giant puzzle. Then muscles, skin, and breath filled them, until a great army stood alive before him. Ezekiel's mouth fell open in awe. God said, "These bones are my people. They feel hopeless, but I will bring them back to life and to their land. I will be their God, and they will know I am the Lord." Ezekiel smiled through tears. It was the most wonderful sight he had ever seen. Later, God gave Ezekiel another vision of a beautiful new temple and a river of life flowing from it. Trees grew along the river banks, their leaves green and full of healing. Fish filled the waters, and the land became alive again. It was a picture of the world made new, a place where God would live among his people forever. God said, "I will live with them. They will be my people, and I will be their God." Ezekiel's heart felt light and full of joy. Even though he was far from home, he knew that God's love was never far away. His people might have been scattered, but God's promise still held strong. Ezekiel's story reminds us of something very special. No matter how lost or broken things seem, God can bring life back to dry bones, hope back to hopeless hearts. When we feel like giving up, God whispers, "Stand up, speak life. I can make all things new." So the next time you see something lifeless, a wilted flower, a broken toy, or even a sad day, remember Ezekiel's vision. Because with God, even dry bones can dance again. God's power can bring life where there seems to be none. Even when everything looks hopeless, never forget, God can turn dry bones into dancing hearts. And that was the story of Ezekiel, the man who saw dry bones dance. Even when everything seemed lost, God showed Ezekiel that his power can bring life and hope back again. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to tap the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Rabbit's Foot Tales for more Bible stories that warm the heart and light the soul. Rabbit's Foot Tales, where every story reminds us that even the smallest hope can grow into a great miracle.